as Jesus is asleep. We've seen all these injustices being done, laws being broken, unfairness. We've seen bitterness, murder throughout this nation. We've seen terrorists, France, bombings. So when you wake up, you can say, like the disciples, it's a storm going on, and this storm is trying to kill us. Jesus, do you not care if we perish? I think that's the question that we've all said through something has caught your eye in the news. A storm is brewing. And these have been some horrific things. We've never lived to see this type of stuff. We've never saw it before in a sequence like this, where it's just been a continual mass of injustices being done. Some of the names, can y'all remember some of the names? I know a few of them. I'm going to start off with Sandra Bland. You guys remember Sandra Bland? She was stopped by an officer, and we saw a lot of it on camera where, you know, he put her in jail or whatever for something so minor. I think pulling over in the lane without putting on her turn signal. And the end result was she wound up being dead. And they want to say that she hung herself. Okay? You know, and so I think that the African Americans, they're looking like, what in the world? You're not going to keep getting away with this. This is the anger from the African American side. And then we have Trayvon Martin walking in a neighborhood just to let us know that as an African American, sometimes in this natural world, you're not as free as someone else. You know, you're being followed, stereotyped, picked out. He was picked out, he was walking in a neighborhood. And what is it? What's his name? George Zimmerman? Even after he was told by the policeman to stand down, he continued to go forth and called himself going to apprehend Trayvon Martin. And he killed him. He killed him. Amen? So we're seeing things like this. And you have one side still saying that the African Americans should stop fighting, should obey the law. I agree with that. I agree with it. When the law is not trying to kill you. You know? I agree with that. That some are acting out of rebellion, but we've seen, thank God for cameras and videos, that's not true, because I didn't know that it was to the magnitude of what it was, these prejudice and injustices being done. I didn't know that. You know, when we see this senseless killings, we saw a young man running from the police, and they got it on video camera where he was just shooting, pow, 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 as if he was an animal. You know, when I saw this, I just said, oh God, what is going on? But see, we have been privileged. Yeah, we have crime, we have murders here, but not to the magnitude of where others have experienced it. And when you're like that, sometimes you're too privileged, because sleep is a privilege, whether you know it or not. Because you know, if you stay in a place with gunshots every minute and somebody's after your life, you're being harassed and bombs are being set in your city or whatever, you might not get too much sleep. So sleep is a privilege that those that can sleep take for granted. And those that are asleep, sometimes you are just oblivious to what is going on around you. You really don't have a clue, not to the magnitude to what's really happening. We thought these incidents were isolated. With camera and video, we're seeing that this is an everyday life for certain places. So those of you that are here, yeah, they try to call Gary murder capital. So we've seen it, we've heard about it, but not to the magnitude of where other places have experiences, other cities have. And what happens is, when you're not aware of what's going on, you can tend to sleep. And you don't get up. Like some of you don't get up. There are those that care. There are those that are not asleep. And they are aware and they are taking action and they're getting up. And your job as a Christian is to come to prayer. That's what we do. When you sleep, oh, somebody else got it. Oh, they got it. I ain't been coming. I ain't been in that in 10 years. Why should I start now? You are asleep. And somebody else is sending guards. Whether it's the policemen, the National Guard, or the prayer warriors. You are living off of somebody else's prayers. Somebody else is up. A policeman is putting his life at risk while you are asleep. And you call yourself a Christian. One of our first commandments is love. When you love somebody, you don't leave them. And there's danger. And the Bible has already explained to us about standing in the gap, corporate prayer. 1 can chase 1,000, 2, 10,000. I think some of you now need to learn about breaking hedges. We're going to get on that a little bit. But I want to go back to all these unnecessary crimes. Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, I'm getting what? Fidelio Castillo, another one, Arthur Alton Sterling. I think that's the gentleman that was selling CDs outside of a convenience store. And he was just shot and killed by a police officer. And then we have the other one that was shot in front of his fiance, with his fiance, I believe, beside him. And the policeman just shot him. Now, he done shot him several times, and the man is down. He's not only down, he's dead. But I believe the camera shows where the policeman is still ready, just still ready. You know, and also his 4-year-old daughter was in that car to witness this. So we are seeing some stuff, some imaginations that only God can erase and heal. Because after this, we see the African Americans with rage. And I know some of y'all like me have used to look at them and say, they go too far with stuff. And I said, see, we didn't know what was hidden. You understand? Satan goes under the radar and keep things away from you when you're sleeping. And thank God for video recorders, because we would have still just been as if they was just rebelling against the law. They wouldn't stop. They wouldn't put their hands up. You know, that's what we would have been told. And I said, thank God for videotapes. But see, now we also got to look at the African Americans. The young man that was delusional. He went out there when they were having a peaceful rally. And the policemen, these policemen were guarding the people so that they could have a peaceful rally, so they could express themselves. And he goes up and he kills. He fires and shoots and injures civilians. And he kills, how many officers was it? 4 or 5? He killed 5 officers. He was delusional. And neither one of them are right. Neither side is right in what's going on, because you have African Americans, you have those that are doing things. Because